Hello, everybody, and welcome here tonight to Texas Motor Speedway. We are playoff racing here in the Saturday Night Send It Cup Series. So, welcome to the My Ex Lives in Texas 200 here at Texas Motor Speedway in the Original Rebels Racing League. And we got 16 playoff drivers here tonight. We'll pull up your bracket real quick. Cameron Combs is going to lead the way here tonight at Texas, and you see we got a round of 16, 12, 10, 8, and then we will decide it with the championship 4 at Michigan International Speedway. So, guys like Cameron Combs, we got Swink up there, Warren Kinder, and Paisley, your top 5 in the points. They're going to look to start the playoffs strong here at Texas Motor Speedway to set themselves up nice for the round of 12, and then obviously at Homestead they'll set themselves up for Richmond, and then so on and so forth until we get to that championship 4. I mean, you have your favorites coming into the playoffs, but you just never know who's actually going to make it to that championship 4 until you're at Charlotte in the round of 8. So, going to be an exciting one. Can't wait to get through these 5 tracks and find out who is going to be the champion of this series. Take a quick look at your schedule here. We got, like I said, Homestead coming up, Richmond, Charlotte, and Michigan, 133 laps tonight, as well as next week, 200 laps at Richmond, 200 laps at Charlotte, and then 125 laps at Michigan International Speedway to end out the season and crown that champion. Your points right now, you got Cameron Combs in the lead by 11 points over Michael Swink right now. And then he'll have 14 points over third and fourth place Jason Warren and Garrett Kinder, who are both tied in the points right now. And then it goes, it goes down 1 point to Jeff Paisley, 2 points to William Paisley, his son, and it keeps going down just about 1 point until we get to that 16th driver. If we take another look at the bracket, you will see that Ray Page is there, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it here tonight. So that spot is going to be filled with Josh Lokenvitz. He'll actually be in the 16th. So you got Tia Swank and Mickey Isaac. They'll move up a spot. And then Josh Lokenvitz will take over that 16th position in points. So you got 4 people that are going to be cut off from this race. And right now, Joey Buscemi, Tia Swank, Mickey Isaac, and Josh Lokenvitz all sit in that cutoff spot. But if we look at the points, I'll take a quick look here. You got Josh Lokenvitz and Mickey Isaac tied for points for last right now. You got Tia Swank 1 point ahead of them, and Joe Buscemi only 3 points ahead of Tia Swank. And Joe Buscemi is your first, or I think he's looks like he'd be the first driver out, along with those other 3, and ahead of Joe Buscemi is Philip Manzo. He's only 1 point ahead of Joe Buscemi. So we're definitely not for certain who's going to be kicked out of the playoffs after this race. We're definitely going to have to get through these 133 laps before we figure that out. As we are under qualifying right now, we'll take a look in a second at your grid. Before we do, let's take a look at your spotlight driver here tonight, Brandon Wallace, into the 99 machine. He is from Odessa, Texas. He's 47 years young. He's a part of Double Down Racing, and he'll be starting the playoffs here in the 11th position. All right. His best Rebels finish is first place. He won last week for the Rebels Easter at Auto Club race, so well done to him. He works as a manager at a motorcycle dealership, which I would imagine if you enjoy motorcycles, that would be a pretty fun job. Favorite quote? It's the skinny pedal on the right. Talking about that gas pedal, which they're going to be hitting here tonight at Texas for sure. Family, he is married and raising several nieces and nephews. That's nice. Favorite driver? Dale Earnhardt, the great Dale Earnhardt. I think that's honestly there's a lot of people definitely would say Dale Earnhardt is their favorite driver, and for a reason. You know, I didn't really grow up with Dale Earnhardt. I was born soon after he passed away, so he wasn't really my favorite driver. But you know, for the people who were around when he was racing, through the majority of his career, or even the back end of his career, whichever it is. It was hard to not probably be a fan of him. So that's his favorite driver. Favorite movie, Top Gun. Not a bad choice at all. Hobbies, he likes drag racing, snow skiing, and hanging out with his nephew. Hopefully not drag racing with his nephew. I'm joking about that, but those aren't bad hobbies at all. I mean, I assume by drag racing he actually does drag racing. I've never done that or snow skiing, so both sound fun, but not in my interest anyways. And then an interesting fact about him, he is an ORRL original member, and his first win was this past Sunday, like we mentioned, that Rebels Easter at Auto Club race. So, I mean, that once again, congratulations to him on that victory, and he's an OG member. So, shout out for that, too. Brandon Wallace, your spotlight driver here tonight, going to be starting this one. If he's qualified, he is not qualified yet, so we'll see where he ends up. We have 3.5 minutes left to qualify. It is only going to be me here tonight, by the way. As you can tell, my father is DJing a wedding tonight, so hope he's having a good time doing that. We're going to have a good time here at Texas Motor Speedway to kick off the playoffs here in the Saturday night Send It Cup Series. We still got some drivers qualifying, so we'll go ahead and check them out. Got Jason Warren here in the 32 machine. He is currently in the 6th position behind Clint Reist. Jason was not able to win. He had bad luck throughout the season, wasn't able to get his first win, but did on the last race of the season 2 weeks ago. So he has definitely some momentum going into this race, but still has a little bit of a gap to make up on Cameron Combs, who will start this playoffs 14 points ahead of him. So it's good he has that momentum, but he will have to make up some ground in the points, and a good way to do it. He gets the pole so far. Cameron Combs is 10th in the grid so far. So that's one way to do it. He's already starting 9 spots ahead of Cameron. That's what it's going to be about, is consistency throughout the different rounds and just obtaining as many points as you can, and hopefully more than the drivers around you that you're trying to beat. So got to be consistent. You can't wreck out of a race or miss a race, or you won't be able to win the playoffs. So consistency is key, is probably definitely number one on my list. So Jason Warren gets that pole spot. Garrett Kinder starts this one in second. So, I mean, not very surprising, I would say. They're tied in points right now, so they love to race around each other. Will Paisley, Jeff Paisley, and Joshua Sexton, your top 5 as of now in qualifying. You're going to see up here on top, the ticker, you'll see the names in yellow are the drivers in the playoffs. So if you see a name without yellow, they are not in the playoffs. You're going to see 16 of those yellow names. And you're already seeing a lot of those playoff drivers starting around each other. We have 20 drivers qualified so far. Got 50 seconds left of qualifying here. Looking to start the playoffs strong. We had a great race 2 weeks ago when we had a race before that where we went all the way green from start to finish. So 2 great races to kind of end the regular season, and hopefully they'll be able to keep that momentum going and have 5 great races here in the playoffs. As we're going to talk a little bit about Texas right before we go to your grid here. 1 and 2 you're going to see, or we'll go on some onboards during the race, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are very different here at Texas Motor Speedway. 1 and 2, a lot less banking, and it's going to be getting to that. I mean, you want to get to the bottom line in both sets of corners, but in 1 and 2, it's a lot harder to keep that car down there. It wants to really snap loose on you, and you're definitely going to have to let out of the throttle in 1 and 2 in order to make the turn. But in 3 and 4, you are all out on the gas, not lifting one bit. So 3 and 4, the relatively easy corner at this track. And you see, we'll pull up your race information real quick. You see that track. It is just very odd looking for sure, that front stretch. So that's also another thing. You could, if your car's really loose and you burnt off the tires, it can get loose on that tri-oval there. So got to be very careful there. It's a mile and a half, and it's only 67 degrees, which these drivers are used to seeing a lot higher temperatures on track. They're usually noon races, so I bet they're happy to see a night race here tonight. And a lot of our playoff races are night races, except the championship race at Michigan. We'll go through your grid now. Jason Warren with the pole spot, put down a 28.723. Garrett Kinder starting this one in second on the outside of the first row. Will Paisley starting the second row in third with his father, Jeff Paisley, starting on his outside in fourth. Joshua Sexton starting in fifth with Clint Reist in the sixth position. P7 goes to Jason Day. Christopher Heiner on his outside in the 24, starting this one in eighth. Tanner Marr starting this one in the ninth position with Cameron Combs in the 15, starting in the 10th spot. Josh Lokenvitz also in the playoffs, like we mentioned. He's going to be starting this one in 11th, so that's good for him because he is last on the board. So he's definitely going to need to start well, and he's just outside the top 10, but we'll see how much he's able to move up in order to try to get himself in the next round of the playoffs. Starting this one in 12th, Shane Pittman in the number 1 car. P13 goes to Joey Buscemi with Chuck Feltz on his outside in 14th. Michael Swink in 15th with Charles Stevens starting this one in the 16th position. Spencer Gay starting this one in 17th with P18 going to Brett Grudenwalt. Mickey Isaac in 19th with Chris Malcolm on his outside in 20th. 21st goes to Tyler Johnson with Tia Swank in 22nd on his outside. Brandon Wallace, our spotlight driver, starting this one all the way back in 23rd, did not lay down a lap, with Kyle Roberts on his outside in 24th. 25th, Philip Manzo, Dave Jones 26th, and William Griffith starting this one all the way in the back. Griffith coming in is 10th in points. So right now he's okay, but starting in last, he's going to definitely, 1, not get caught up in anything, and 2, make sure that he starts to move up through the field because he's not that far ahead of 12th place Philip Manzo. He's only 2 points ahead. So right now, obviously if the race were to end now, which it's not, he would be out of the playoffs. As we're getting ready to kick off the playoffs here at Texas Motor Speedway, that pace car is going to pull off, and these drivers are going to wait for that iRacing green flag. And we are playoff racing here on the Saturday Night Send It Cup Series. Jason Warren and Garrett Kinder are going to lead them to turn 1. Got to be very careful here early on. Get into a groove and just settle down because we got 132 laps to go when you complete this one. So, oh, and they're already wrecking. No. Not what you like to see here early on. Josh Lokenvitz, and oh no, the 0-4-1 of Chris Malcolm. Josh Lokenvitz in the playoffs. The last spot, 16th, already in a wreck. We're going to have to go back and find out what happened coming through 3 and 4 to complete lap 1. Ooh, 24, Chris Heiner gets loose. Maybe a little bit of contact from Cameron Combs. Cameron makes it through it just fine. He's, like I said, our leader in the points. And, oh, big contact and then more. Unfortunately for Chris Malcolm, it looked like he was in the clear, but then somebody spun Josh Lokenvitz to the right and right in front of Malcolm. Definitely not the way you'd like to start off the playoffs, that's for sure. as we're already going to see some people down pit road to get some damage fixed. So right now down pit road is Josh Lokenvitz, Cameron Combs down pit road, so maybe he did attain some damage. Brandon Wallace, Philip Manzo, Chris Malcolm, and Kyle Roberts. So you have 3 of our playoff drivers right there in pit road due to that wreck. And so Cameron Combs, like I said, our points leader coming into tonight, was looking good, 14 points ahead, and he's still okay. His car isn't hurt, I don't think, unless he went down pit road and had a little bit of damage to fix. But he should still be okay, but now he's going to be kind of behind an 8 ball here, as he's going to be all the way back in 22nd. And yeah, I apologize. When the race ends, we're going to have to wait a little bit to find out who's out. We should be able to find out by the time the interviews are over. So we have, it looks like, a lot of our playoff drivers inside the top 10. Jason Warren, Will Paisley, Garrett Kinder, Jeff Paisley, Clint Reist, and Joey Buscemi. That's one thing about racing, though, that's different from all other kinds of sports, is when you get to the playoffs, you still race around those other people, even if they aren't in the playoffs, and they're still going to race you just as hard because they, you know, it's still a race and an opportunity to win for those drivers. So they're not going to give up that opportunity. And so that's just something wildly different between racing and other sports. As other sports, once you get to the playoffs, you're only facing other competitors that made it to the playoffs. Not in racing, though. On that restart, Will Paisley passed Garrett Kinder and now sits in second. You see him there on the outside row in the 93 Delta machine. As we're getting back ready to get our first restart underway, and this time Jason Warren is the control car, so he can go whenever he wants to. Does not have to wait for the iRacing green flag. We'll see when he chooses to go. Garrett Kinder right behind him, a teammate, so we'll probably see them work together. And the green flag is back out here at Texas Motor Speedway as Jason Warren gets a clean restart and is clear for the lead. Garrett Kinder and Will Paisley side by side going into turn 1. Probably going to see that inside line be the favorable line through 1 and 2, but maybe on restarts it won't be. That outside line, Will Paisley shot out of the turn, and now he's going for the lead. But you see 3 and 4 there. That inside line prevails for Jason Warren, and that leaves the 76 of Garrett Kinder and the 93 Will Paisley battling for the second position. Seems like if you're going to pass somebody on the outside, it really is going to be that 1 and 2 because it's a lot easier to hold them down in that turn than it is 3 and 4. We'll see how Will Paisley does it here on this side of the track. And just not enough momentum for that outside line to gain, it seems like. Will Paisley all over the back bumper. He gets loose. That might open the door for Clint Reist right behind him. Clint not able to get to him. Cameron Combs, Will Paisley tied for the most wins in this series coming into the playoffs, both with 4. Next up for wins, well, really all we got is one-time winners after that, it looks like. Clint Reist, Jeff Paisley, Jason Warren, all with wins. And Garrett Kinder, we see him in that 4th position in points, but second on track right now He doesn't have a win on the season, but that just shows how consistent he was all season long. An average finish of 9th, which is the second best out of everybody, just behind our points leader Cameron Combs, as they're battling behind him for 3rd. Clint Reese on the outside of Will Paisley. But that just shows how consistent he has been all season to be 4th in points, tied with Jason Warren without a win. And you got to think if Warren didn't get that win last week, that Garrett Kinder would probably be alone in 3rd for points right now. And here comes Clint Reese. He just passed Will Paisley, and now he's coming for that 2nd spot. All over the back bumper now of Garrett Kinder. Struggler Jeff Paisley, he's already all the way back to 8th. He restarted that, I believe, in the top 5. So he's fallen back, and he's under danger of losing that spot to Shane Pittman in that Pennzoil 1 machine there, with Joey Buscemi rounding out the top 10 behind him. Is that 1 machine going to look under Jeff Paisley in 3 and 4? We've seen that bottom line be better. We'll see if he's able to use that to his advantage in 1 and 2, where we've seen that outside line prevail when you're side by side going into it. Better start to this restart than the initial start of the race, as we're now up to lap 12. And this battle continues, and that might be kind of the story of the night, is one driver's going to win in 3 and 4 on the bottom line, and then the other driver's going to win in 1 and 2 on the outside line. And you might just stay side by side for multiple laps on end. We're seeing that here with Jeff Paisley and Shane Pittman. Josh Lokenvents, unfortunately, still down pit road along with Dave Jones. So Lokenvents got that last playoff spot due to Ray Page not being able to make it, but looks like he's not going to be able to take advantage of it. Hopefully he stays in the race, because who knows, somebody could wreck out in the playoffs and he can make it. So we'll see if he chooses to stay. And Jason Warren right now 14 laps in, led every single lap so far, 6/10 ahead of Garrett Kinder there. Clint Reese was all over the back bumper of Garrett Kinder, but Garrett has found a way to start running away from him there and has kind of kept that 2nd spot for himself. And we're seeing really that kind of middle lane in 1 and 2 these drivers are taking, and maybe that's just the faster way around. But you're definitely going to see him stick to that white line in 3 and 4. As it's really single filed out throughout the field now. Do have Jeff Paisley and Joey Buscemi, as Shane Pittman did make that pass, and he's actually all the way up to 7th. He passed Tanner Marr as well while we were gone. So Shane Pittman, he's already up 5 positions from where he started in the 12th position. So he is looking strong right now. Let's see if he can make his way towards the top 5. But that spot is a 2.5 seconds ahead of him. Jeff Paisley just on, as the tires start to grow older, just looks like he's struggling a little bit. We'll see if that car starts to come to him as the run continues. Cameron Combs, your points leader, restarted 22nd all the way up to 17th right now. Trying to make a pass on William Griffith. I was paying attention to Cameron Combs in practice, and it didn't seem like he was as fast as usual, and so maybe just not his track. And well, that's where you just got to think to yourself, it's the first race of the playoffs. I don't have to be perfect. I don't even have to be great. Just try to maintain as big of a points lead as I can. Second in points, Michael Swink is in the 11th spot right now here. We're on board with him. He is 6 spots ahead of Cameron Combs, so even if it finished like this, we would still see Cameron Combs in that lead position going into the round of 12 at Homestead Miami Speedway. As Jason Warren right now still about a 6/10 lead over Garrett Kinder, so that's not that gap between first and second not moving too much right now. And man, Jason Warren, we already know he's fast. We knew he was fast even when he wasn't winning races, but for him to win the last race of the season, to get that elusive win that he wasn't able to get, that's honestly just scary for the rest of the field, because you know, you were able to keep him from winning a race, but now that he's won one, he has that momentum and he knows what it feels like in the Cup cars, and he might just take away with it or run away with it, as he's in first right now, and obviously a long way to go, but he's fast usually everywhere he goes, and he just needs to keep trying to finish off the races, because it's not always how you start the race, but how you finish, obviously. And so great that he's started this one out strong, but a long way to go here tonight. As you're seeing some lap traffic there, that's Philip Manzo in 22nd right now. Looks like Jason Day, nope, not as close as I thought, but Shane Pittman, I talked about him, how he had moved up to 7th. He's getting closer and closer to Jason Day for 6th here. Keep an eye on that car, because it's looked strong so far, but kind of stuck in 7th right now. And let's go back one driver from him, Jeff Paisley. I mentioned how he was falling back as the tires grew older, and maybe the car would come to him as we kept going, and well, he passed Tanner Marr back for 8th. So that is a positive for him. We'll see if he's able to continue to move up the running order. Not much going on throughout the track. Mickey Isaac, Charles Stevens here, battling for the 13th position. And I'm really surprised right now. Cameron Combs in the 16th position, trying to make a pass on Tyler Johnson for 15th to get himself into that top 15. Not able to do so, but I thought he'd be able to maybe pass people a little easier and a little quicker, but he is still, without making that pass, still outside the top 15. So he's made passes to get here, obviously. He's made 6 spots up since the restart, but I thought maybe he'd make up a little bit more than that. Just maybe proves how tough it is to pass here at Texas. Let's go. I said we would earlier, so let's go ahead while we're still under green here on an onboard here with Jason Warren. Just here, the off-throttle time in 1 and 2 is going to be a lot different than 3 and 4. He told me before the race he might lift a little bit at this point of the run in 3 and 4. You do hear him lifting there just to get the car settled, and it looks a little loose in there. But he's on the throttle definitely a lot more than he is in 1 and 2, just because there's a lot more banking there. In 1 and 2, less banking. It'll be a little bit harder to turn that car, which means you're going to have to be off the throttle more. And you see a wide exit that narrows down once you get to the backstretch there. It looks like you can really keep it wide on exit, but you cannot, or else you'll hit that wall. I really compare it and Kentucky a lot, because Texas and Kentucky's turn 4 looks like you'll be able to keep it wide on exit, and then that wall just cuts you off. So got to be very careful there. See Garrett Kinder there behind him, only about a half a second, maybe a little over a half a second. So Garrett Kinder and Clint Reist behind him there are definitely sticking with Jason Warren here. We'll go through your running order real quick with the points. Cameron Combs, talked about him multiple times here tonight. Your points leader coming in, still sitting in the, actually past Tyler Johnson, so he's in the 15th position. Change cameras here real quick. He's in the 15th spot. Second in points coming into tonight was Michael Swink. He's in 11th. He's up 4 spots. He started 15th, so a good run from him so far. Third in points, Jason Warren. Talked about him as well. Your leader right now, led every single lap so far. 30 laps in, got close to that wall, and behind that lap car, he had some trouble, and that's going to close the door in between him and, well, our 4th place in points, Garrett Kinder. Lap traffic hurting Jason Warren right now, and that going to make it a little bit easier for Garrett Kinder to try to make a pass for the lead here soon. But he's sitting 4th in points right now. Fifth place in the points goes to Jeff Paisley. He's currently sitting still in that 8th position. Struggling a little bit, like we mentioned, he's down 4 spots from the start of the race. But he has been able to find a home in this 8th position. Will Paisley, his son, sitting in that 4th spot right now. He started in 3rd, so a nice consistent top 5 run for that 93 machine right now, who just needs a good finish to try to help himself in points going into Homestead next week. Clint Reist, who's behind him in points, ahead of him on track and trying to make a pass on Garrett Kinder for 2nd in that 2 machine, as he is on the outside in 3 and 4. So that's going to help him in 1 and 2. I think he's going to be able to make that pass out of 4. We'll see, though. But he currently sits right now, coming into this race, 7th in points. Stay with this battle for a quick second. It'll be a little bit harder to... It may be easier in 3 and 4 to hold that high line as they're wrecking in front of him. Jason Warren. He keeps the car straight, but he's going to lose 3 positions, maybe more. And let's find out what happened to our leader. Oh, no, you just don't want to see that. A non-playoff driver going a lap down and makes contact with Jason Warren. You know he's not going to be happy with that. Jason now sits in the 4th position, 7/10 ahead of P5 Jason Day. So troubles here for Jason Warren, 35 laps into the race, and he's just going to have to try to make up those spots now, as he is about 2.5 seconds behind Garrett Kinder, your leader now. We'll continue along with your points coming into tonight, where they're running right now. Christopher Heiner came into this 8th in points. And actually, there he is, sitting in P20 right now in the 24 machine. Behind him in points coming in tonight, Chuck Phelps sitting in the 15th position. So a nice run for him so far. Started this one 14th, so consistent top 15 run, although it is a little under danger here is Tyler Johnson trying to make a pass for that position. He's another driver, Chuck Phelps, that just needs to have a consistent run, finish well, and he should be able to make it, but he's still pretty close to that cutoff line in the 12th position for points. William Griffith, who's behind him in points coming into tonight, is actually sitting behind him position-wise now, that Chuck Phelps was just passed for 15th by Tyler Johnson. William Griffith sitting in 17th right now, but he started, we talked about it, he started in 27th. So he's up 10 spots in this race so far. Nice run for him. But like I said, he's another one of those drivers that's extremely close to that cutoff line and needs to have a good race. Philip Manzo in the 22nd position right now, who we actually just saw get passed by William Griffith. He is currently 5 spots ahead of the 16th in points, so he is sitting in that in that 12th position. He's 4 ahead, sorry. Joey Buscemi, who's behind him in points and currently coming into the race anyways on that cutoff line. He would be the first out. Sitting in the 10th spot right now, so a great run for him. He was on the outside looking in, but not by much. If I go ahead and take a look, he was 1 point behind Philip Manzo. So right now he's actually in as of now, but still a while to go left in this race. But nice run for him so far in the top 10. Then you got Tia Swank, who was also on the outside coming in. He is sitting in 21st right now. So that is 1 spot ahead of Joey Buscemi, which is not enough for him. He needs to finish at least 4 ahead if he doesn't want to tie for that spot. He is the first car lap down right now. And then we'll move on here to Mickey Isaac in 12th right now. And he's under fire here from Cameron Combs. So it looks like the tires are getting older, and that's really prime time for Cameron Combs to make passes, as he is now up to 13th. But Mickey Isaac right now, he's sitting in second to last in points coming into the race. Actually tied with Josh Lokenvitz at the base amount of points at 2,000. So he, right now, I think would be in if the race ended as of now. And then Josh Lokenvitz, see if he's on track right now. He is, so suck it out on pit road, and he's back in 23rd right now. But still, we've talked about it, a long way to go left in this race. Still enough time for another driver to make a mistake, and oh, he makes a mistake. But enough time left for maybe another driver that, other drivers to make mistakes for him to find a way to get in. But right now he is not looking good to get to the second round of the playoffs. And that is your running order for the guys in the playoffs. Garrett Kinder, we saw him take the lead earlier when Warren had his mishap. Still in the lead over Clint Reist, but only by 3/10. You see there Clint Reist in the 2 machine right behind him. But these 2 seconds ahead of Will Paisley in 3rd. So they are in a good position right now to at least withhold the top 2. But Garrett Kinder trying to keep himself in the lead. You know he wants to do that. Jason Warren, we'll go back to him. He's actually under fire from Jason Day right now. So you got to think maybe a little bit of damage and that slide. Oh, and he actually hits the wall. So that's going to cost him that 4th position. He's going to fall back to 5th. You got to think it's got to be kind of both damage to the car, and he maybe scrubbed off those tires when he got loose after contact from a lapped car that are causing that car to slow down a little bit, because he was in the lead just about 16 laps ago or so. And I have to believe we're getting close to green flag pit stops. If we stay under green here, I'd say the next 15 to 20 laps. As we are up to lap 47, getting close to the lap 50 mark. Garrett, we'll go through your top 10 real quick right now as they run. Garrett Kinder right now your leader with Clint Reist behind him in 2nd. 3rd is Will Paisley. And we just saw Jason Day make a pass over Jason Warren for 4th. So he's sitting there currently in that 52 Goodwrench Chevrolet. Jason Warren in 5th, but he is close to being under fire here from Joshua Sexton and Shane Pittman, who are your 6th and 7th place runners right now. Joshua Sexton not in the playoffs, but just looking to have some fun, have a good run, and maybe get a win if he can. Same for all these non-playoff drivers. Can't win a championship, but you can still win races. And that's something Shane Pittman here in the 1 might be able to do as the race goes on if we have a caution, because we've seen that car have some speed. Jeff Paisley still sitting in 8th, so I did say that he struggled early, but he has rebounded for sure in maintaining that 8th position. Tanner Marr in that 08 machine sitting in the 9th position. And then Joey Buscemi still sitting in 10th right now. He started this one 13th, so a good run for him. We'll move back real quick to William Griffith, our biggest mover so far in this race. Still in 17th where we saw him. So he hasn't moved up any more than the last time that we highlighted his name. But still a good run for him to move up 10 spots since the start of the race. That was your top 10 as of lap 51. Garrett Kinder, I mentioned he does not have a win on the season yet. Well, this would be one heck of a time to get that first win, is to start off the playoffs. You always want to show up in the playoffs, even if you don't show up in the regular season as much on track. If you can show up in the playoffs and make a run at the championship, it makes up for, all of those weeks of maybe it not going your way every single time. And right now, Garrett Kinder in that winning position, as we are still about a little while away from halfway through this race. But he has to get through this lap traffic, Garrett Kinder does, smoothly and cleanly, because he does have Clint Reese there. You see right behind him, about 7/10. But I will give Garrett some credit. It was just about 3/10 or 4/10 in between him and Clint Reese. So he's maybe starting to build that gap a little bit. Oh, I thought we had a wreck back here, but I think it was just someone blinking. All right. Or at least blinking on my screen, which usually likes to happen on Saturdays. I'll take a quick second to tell you guys about tomorrow night. We got more playoff racing for you in the Rebels Truck Series, Sunday Night Truck Series here at Texas, and we are seeing our first round of pit stops here. Will Paisley, Jason Warren down pit road right now, and Garrett Kinder a lap later going to follow him. So the first round of pit stops on lap 55 as he smokes those tires, but looks like he gets down to speed. So 3 drivers down pit road right now, and you got to think that these other drivers cannot wait too long to follow him, because we are seeing about a 2-second fall off or so. About a 1.5 second, I would say, sorry. 1.5 second fall off, so that's still enough fall off that you do not want to wait too long to pit if you're closer to the front. Maybe if you want to take a chance, stay out there, try to catch a caution. Jason Day has stayed out as of now. Joshua Sexton, Shane Pittman behind him have stayed out. Clint Reese has gone down pit road. But this is a really good time for maybe these drivers that were back in 15th, 20th, worse, maybe better. I mean, Jason Day, Joshua Sexton, Shane Pittman, they were all inside the top 10 and still are. But we're seeing Jason Day come down pit road. Here comes Joshua Sexton. Shane Pittman, see if he follows. He does not. But this is a good time. If you need to make up a lot of positions, it may not work, but you can at least try by staying out here and trying to catch a caution and trap a lot of these cars a lap down. See if Shane Pittman comes this time by. He does not. So Shane Pittman, Mickey Isaac, Tyler Johnson, William Griffith, and Brandon Wallace. The 5 cars still out there, but Mickey Isaac says, nope, I'm going down pit road. So 4 cars now left out there. See if William Griffith or Brandon Wallace come down pit road with Mickey Isaac. Neither of them do. Garrett Kinder, it works out for him. He is still ahead for the lead if they're able to get their positions back from these drivers when they pit, if a caution does not come out. And Will Paisley, he had a good pit stop. He made a pass over Clint Reese. It may have been on track, I'm not sure. But he is ahead of Clint Reese, and he was in 3rd before pit stops. So a nice job by him to get on and off of pit road well. But he's got to obviously maintain that spot. And we saw Clint Reese did have more speed than Will on that last run. Oh, and a driver in the wall in the front stretch. I couldn't tell who that was. There is Garrett Kinder coming to get his lap back. So if caution does come out, he will not be trapped a lap down. And here comes the #1 machine of Shane Pittman down pit road. And if you're able to make it to lap 66, you can make it to halfway. But I feel like if you could make it to lap 66 on fuel, that our leaders would have done that to make it, you know, a one-stop race. But at this point, I imagine you'd have to stop again unless you can make it 70-plus laps on fuel. Then I could be wrong. But I'm never too aware on these things. Just because, well, I try to get the info from drivers if I can, but I was not lucky enough tonight. Right now, your top 10 consists of, it looks like, 6 playoff drivers. Now 7 as Jeff Paisley gets into the top 10 over Shane Pittman. One caution in this race, and that was on the 2nd lap of the race. So a great run, a great way to make up for that early wreck. And they have gone green ever since. Tyler Johnson, Brandon Wallace, your last 2 left out there on track here under green. The only 2 who have not pit yet. There goes Jeff Paisley past him to get his lap back in 9th. We're going to see Tanner Marr follow him soon. Shane Pittman loses, it looks like, 2 or 3 positions from that, from staying out longer. Actually, 4 positions. As we're seeing Tyler Johnson come down pit road. Will Brandon Wallace follow? He will not. So Brandon Wallace takes the lead, and caution is out as Tyler Johnson just went down pit road. Tia Swank down pit road. I'm not sure if that's due to a wreck. I don't have anybody to spot wrecks for me tonight, so we'll do our best, folks, to try to find the wreck. Does not look like it's Tia's. Yeah, I'm not sure where that happened, but Brandon Wallace, he stayed out a lap later than Tyler Johnson, and it's going to work out for him. I'm not sure if we'll see Garrett Kinder come down pit road with him. We will not. But we do have other drivers following him down. Will Paisley. I said drivers, maybe driver. There's Jason Day in the 52. So we do have drivers coming down pit road with him. We'll see how many stay out, though. Right now, it looks about 7 to 8, maybe 9 drivers stay out, but a lot of people go down pit road. Not sure how many sets of tires we have here tonight. Let me, I'll check that here in just a second. Okay. So we have 3 extra sets of tires in pit road. So these drivers down right now, other than Brandon Wallace, are taking their second set of tires, unless they're just splash and go. I imagine, now that I think about it, maybe those drivers that went down pit road just getting a splash and go to fill up their tank as much as they can to try to make it the rest of the way on fuel. If not, if they took tires, that would be their second out of 3, so they'll have 1 set of tires the last remaining 67 laps. As on this next restart, Garrett Kinder, Clint Reese, Jason Warren, Tyler Johnson, Cameron Combs, your top 5. So Cameron, we talked about him earlier, outside of the top 10. Oh, now he sits P5. So that is that's trouble for these other drivers who are hoping to make up ground on him throughout this race. Well, if he finishes in the top 5, if not win, but even if he just finishes inside the top 5, he would at least maintain a pretty good points lead going into Homestead. But still a long way to go here tonight. A lot left to be resolved, and 4 drivers who are not going to make it as a playoff driver to Homestead. They can still race, but they won't be a playoff driver. Once again, we'll take a look at your bracket. Sorry about that. OBS glitching tonight. Homestead, Richmond, Charlotte, and Michigan. The next 4 playoff tracks, and crowning a champion at Michigan International Speedway. Like I said, unfortunately, hopefully by the end of the interviews at the end of this race, we'll be able to figure out who is in and who is out. So we're going to take 4 drivers off the list after tonight, 2 after next week, 2 once again, and then 4 after the round of 8 will make it into that last race as a playoff driver. As they are lined back up, and we're getting ready to go back racing. 2 cautions now throughout 68 laps. Will Paisley, who was the first to follow Brandon Wallace down pit road, going to restart in P9. And all of a sudden, these drivers going to be around each other once again on fresh tires. Jason Warren, your race leader for about the first 30 laps, and then had an issue with the lap car. Well, he's sitting in 3rd right now, so another chance to try to get that lead back. Pace car's off. And we are back to racing here at Texas Motor Speedway, as we go back to racing with 64 laps to go, as Garrett Kinder and Jason Warren get clear for the, Clint Reese gets clear for the top 2. Warren behind him in 3rd, Tyler Johnson in 4th, and Cameron Combs in 5th. As they are scattering behind him down the backstretch. You got Charles Stevens here and Joshua Sexton. Will Paisley, Michael Swink were all side by side. Jason Warren having an issue. Not sure what happened, but he is fallen all the way back to 7th after he was just in the 3rd position. So an issue for the 32 machine has him back outside the top 5 behind Joey Buscemi. And here comes Cameron Combs trying to make a pass on Mickey Isaac for 4th. Our biggest movers now, Tyler Johnson, 18 spots up. He's sitting in 3rd right now in that 05 machine. Mickey Isaac right behind him in the 01 yellow machine is 15 spots up. He sits 4th. Starting to see some more non-playoff drivers inside the top 10. Although a good amount still inside that top 10 as Clint Reese goes for the lead here through 3 and 4 on the outside. Still have about 8 drivers out of the top 10 in the playoffs. Well, I said out of the drivers inside the top 10, 8 of them are playoff drivers. As Clint Reese still working on the outside of the 76 of Garrett Kinder for the lead here at Texas Motor Speedway. He does not want to be in that dirty air anymore. He's going to try to make it work, but Garrett Kinder doing a nice job at fighting on that inside line. And Garrett Kinder, oh, and you see Clint Reese left front touch the apron a little bit. That's going to upset his car, and he is a lot higher on exit than he wanted to be out of 4. But Tyler Johnson pretty far back from him, so he doesn't have to worry about that, at least for now. Jason Warren now all the way back to 9th. I'm really not sure what's going on. Maybe he's saving tires drastically, but he is about to fall outside the top 10. Oh, you see that left front is crinkled up a lot. Shane Pittman works his way inside the top 10, and they were 3 wide up here. Will Paisley, it looked like they were anyways, 3 wide. Joshua Sexton, Will Paisley, and Cameron Combs there. We saw Will Paisley pit. He's back inside the top 5. He restarted 9th. Garrett Kinder still holds that lead over Clint Reese, but not by much out of turn 4. And you got to think Clint Reese at this point has got to start thinking about saving those tires and trying to pass them later on, just because Garrett Kinder on those fresher tires is holding him off pretty well. So he's got to be careful how much he tries to race Garrett, or else he could really burn up those tires here early on in this run. And if anybody did take tires if they pit that last time around, if we go green the rest of the way, it'll definitely work out for them. But that is the question. Will we go green the rest of the way? It's a pretty difficult task, but they did just go about 64, 63 green flag laps in a row. So it can definitely be done. As Will Paisley making a move on the inside of Mickey Isaac for 4th. We're down to 54 laps to go here at Texas. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, can make it on fuel at this point. We saw people going, we saw Brandon Wallace go about 63 or 64 laps. So I think maybe if you topped off on fuel, you can make it the rest of the way. I'm not sure about the rest of these drivers. Garrett Kinder being one of them that stayed out. He was definitely saving under that caution, but can saving do enough for you to make it to the end if we don't have a caution? Shane Pittman now up to 8th as he's making a pass on the 52 at Jason Day. That's a throwback paint scheme for you. Couple of throwback paint schemes, you could say. As Jason Day looks to make a pass back on the inside of Shane Pittman, and he does. So this battle looks like it could go on for multiple laps. And, yep, there goes Shane Pittman to the inside. Entertaining battle here for the 8th position here on lap 82. As we are on the back half of the first playoff race to open up the playoffs for the Saturday Night Send It Cup Series here in the Original Rebels Racing League. Will Paisley just made a pass on Tyler Johnson for 3rd and looks to also make a move on the 2 of Clint Reist for 2nd. You see Garrett Kinder in the 76 not too far ahead of them. Will Paisley, again, I'm not sure if he's on fresher tires, but if he is taking advantage of them as he is moved up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag when we went back racing and looks to make it 7. And Clint Reist messes up a little bit in 3 and 4 on the high line. That's going to cost him that 2nd spot as the 93 moves up to 2nd. And now the only car left in front of him is Garrett Kinder as Tyler Johnson follows Will Paisley to try to make a pass around Clint Reist. On board now with Will Paisley. Just see what kind of line he's running compared to our leader now, because he is looking pretty much faster than he is right now. Running a lower line, at least on entry. Yeah, really all the way through 1 and 2, a lower line than Garrett Kinder. Maybe Will Paisley saw that caution as a way to try to win this race, because while he was inside the top 5, Garrett Kinder was faster than him. Clint Reist was up there, Jason Moore, and he was sitting in 4th and about 2 seconds or so behind our leaders. So maybe he saw this as an opportunity. Hey, if we go green the rest of the way, my tires are going to be better than yours, as we have gone green for a while now on this, but still a ways to go left in this race to not have a caution. Oh, and he blinks out. As Will Paisley for the lead on the inside of Garrett Kinder down the front stretch. See if he's able to use that inside line through 1 and 2 to take it away. And he does. That 93 Delta Chevrolet to the lead here at Texas Motor Speedway. Will coming into this race started this in the 6th position in points. Check how far back in points he was. About 17 points behind Cameron Combs coming into tonight. So, yeah, I definitely think he needs a win to try to set himself up for the rest of the playoffs to try to catch Cameron Combs. But even then, it's going to be a little tough unless Cameron Combs has a bad race. Cameron sitting in 5th right now. Clint Reist on the outside of Jeff Paisley here for the 8th position. Jeff Paisley maybe not where he wants to be in terms of being in the top 5, but we've seen him a lot in this 8th position tonight. And that is still inside the top 10, so not a bad run for that 7 machine, 90 laps in. And let's go quickly back to Jason Warren here. I saw him fall back to about 13th or 14th. Well, he's in 12th now, so I'm thinking maybe he was saving tires. I don't know. He does have a lot of damage, so, I mean, it could be excused as that damage is just holding him back. But he is going to try to make a pass on Joey Buscemi for 11th. Speaking of Joey Buscemi, we've talked a good amount tonight about how he was just under that cut line, would be cut out. If the playoffs ended before it even started, but or if this race anyways. And well, he's having a nice run here tonight. I believe he was sitting in 10th earlier, now 11th behind Tanner Marr, but that would still should be good enough for him to make it to the round of 12 at Homestead Miami Speedway. So as long as he stays up here, doesn't get caught up anything, should be okay. As Jason Warren still just trying to get to him to make a pass. Tyler Johnson now makes a pass on Garrett Kinder for second. Joshua Sexton going to try to follow him on the low side here in 1 and 2. So, yeah, it definitely looks like maybe these drivers took tires, because Garrett Kinder, who didn't pit and obviously didn't take tires because of that, is falling back now almost to 4th. If he can hold on here, then 3rd. But either way, yeah, as Joshua Sexton takes that away, so Garrett Kinder falls back to 4th after leading. Here's Cameron Combs looking to make a pass on Shane Pittman, and he does. Or was it the other way around? I'm not too entirely sure. It might have been the other way around, and Shane Pittman was just not able to make the pass. But here comes Jeff Paisley in 8th. And he touched the apron a little bit trying to get to him, maybe checked up a little bit. And we got Clint Reese down pit road. A 14-second stop. So he took tires and fuel. So you got to think other drivers who stayed out definitely cannot make it, because he stayed out and he's not able to make it. And yeah, here comes these other drivers, Garrett Kinder, Jason Day. So these are drivers that were hoping for a caution around this time, and now are thinking, well, I got to get tires and give myself enough time to try to make up as many spots as I can. But big gamble for these drivers. They did not pit last time around. Now the question is, the drivers who did pit, can they make it on fuel? So that is going to be a question that we're going to answer here very soon, as we got about 37 laps or so left. Jason Warren, Garrett Kinder, Jason Day, all down pit road right now. Clint Reese, we saw him coming out of pit road. Jeff Paisley now down pit road. If these drivers who did pit last time do have to pit again, then we'll see. If you did take tires last time, that's going to be your last set. As here comes Will Paisley. So, oh, and I think he sped. Let's hope he was able to slow it down enough. But, man, that did look like he locked it up pretty late. So we're going to see if he sped or not. So, yeah, if you took tires last time around, this is your last set you're going to put on here. And you got to put it on. So you just got to hope another caution doesn't come out if you're Will Paisley or these drivers that did pit last time. Tanner Marr and Tyler Johnson down with him. That leaves Joshua Sexton in the lead, but not for long as he goes down pit road. Cameron Combs does not pit with him. Shane Pittman does. So Cameron Combs to the point here at Texas with 35 laps to go. Joe Buscemi, Charles Stevens Jr., Chuck Feltz, and Brandon Wallace still out there on track. Had a great time here tonight with you guys, but I'm definitely looking forward to having my co-host back with me next week, as we'll go to Homestead. And just a weekend of events that were planned months and months before, so couldn't do anything about it. And, well, we've had a great race to call here, or I have anyways. I've had a great race to call here tonight. These drivers have made it pretty easy to broadcast by myself. As Joe Buscemi and Charles Stevens Jr. are down pit road, so that leaves Cameron Combs, Chuck Phelps, and Brandon Wallace on track. Still yet to pit with 33 laps to go. Cameron Combs, your leader. So right now, still a toss-up at who's going to win this race, even with just 30 laps to go. See if Chuck Phelps goes down pit road as he goes through 3 and 4 here. He does not. Brandon Wallace here in the 3rd position. Does not go down pit road, so the top 3 still stay out. Looks like they're just all trying to catch a caution. As Cameron Combs blinks out there, let's hope he comes back. There he is. As you see, Will Paisley flying right back past him to get his lap back. Will Paisley that last time around a 29.49. Cameron Combs, your leader, a 30.35. So almost a second difference between those tires. So Cameron Combs definitely running the most consistent laps. The driver's still out there on those older tires. Here comes Tyler Johnson, who would be in second if it stays green the rest of the way, and these drivers have to pit. But right now, sitting in 5th, 1 lap down, about to get his lap back there in the 05 machine. As it's all about, can that caution come out for these 3 drivers, or else this is all for naught if they have to pit. They'll obviously lose all these positions. Jeff Paisley making a pass for 9th over William Griffith, and Shane Pittman follows him for the 10th spot. A couple of names here that we've seen in the top 10 all night long. Clint Reese, who was the first to pit, he is sitting in 8th right now. But out of the drivers who have pit, he is sitting in P5. Behind here, Joshua Sexton, who he could make it 4th out of the drivers who have pit. Brandon Wallace, he's actually lost a couple positions. That's Will Paisley and Tyler Johnson passed him up. Right now, if we go back to our leader, Cameron Combs is sitting 25 seconds ahead of Will Paisley. So he has still a decent amount of laps, depending on his fuel, to stay out there to try to catch a caution. He's losing about a second a lap. So in theory, if it stayed like that, he could stay out there for another 20 or 25 laps. In terms of before he got passed by Will Paisley, but fuel-wise, can he make it 20 to 25 laps? And, well, there's 26 laps to go. So even if you were able to make it on fuel, it would be close even between him and Will Paisley. But that's the question. Can he make it on fuel? And he cannot. Cameron Combs down pit road here with 26, coming to 25 laps to go. He will give up the lead to Chuck Phelps unless he pits along with him. Chuck Phelps only 4 seconds ahead of Will Paisley. So unless a caution comes out here in the very, very near future, Will Paisley about to reassume the lead here at Texas Motor Speedway as Chuck Phelps stays out. So he will lead a lap here. And he should be able to lead at least another lap but I'm pretty sure Will Paisley will pass him up before he's able to lead a lap after this one, unless he goes down to pit road, of course. So Cameron Combs now outside of the top 10 in 12th right now, but he's going to even lose more positions, it looks like. Chuck Phelps stays out another one, so he'll lead this lap. Question is, can he lead the next one here? He's 1.3 seconds ahead of Will Paisley. Looks like he will. I think Will Paisley got caught up on some lap traffic, so that's going to help Chuck lead this next lap as well. But you got to think Will Paisley not going to allow him to lead very many more laps. As, yeah, here comes the 93 machine. You're about to see him on the screen. There he is. And there goes Will Paisley back to the lead here at Texas Motor Speedway with 23 laps to go. Unless we see another caution, does not have to worry about pitting, just has to worry about running fast laps. He is 3 seconds ahead of Tyler Johnson, who would be in second either once he passes Chuck Phelps or when Chuck Phelps pits. So Will Paisley, he's missed a couple of weeks, but he's looking to come right back and reassert some dominance and win the first race back, which just so happens to be the first playoff race. And Chuck Phelps is now down pit road, so everyone on track has pit now. Will Paisley first, Tyler Johnson second, Joshua Sexton up to third, Jason Day fourth, Clinton Reist in the fifth position, Jeff Paisley up to sixth, Shane Pittman in 7th, Jason Moore in 8th, Tanner Marr 9th, and Brandon Wallace in the P10 right now. And, well, that's our spotlight driver right there. And he came into the race 11th in points. And, well, well, now he's in 11th as Cameron Combs on fresher tires passes him. Oh, actually down to 12th, I'm sorry. But still, even in 12th, a nice run for Brandon Wallace to hopefully get himself into the next round of the playoffs. Joey Buscemi, another driver, he started this one outside looking in, and with this 11th place, or at least where he's running right now in 11th, we'll see after the race, but should help him as well get into Homestead as a playoff driver. Garrett Kinder, he's all the way back in 15th, so tough luck for him after leading some laps earlier. And I didn't think about it until now, but Will Paisley, I thought he might have sped on to pit road, but I would say he didn't since he's in first right now. And Joshua Sexton making a pass on Tyler Johnson for the second spot. So only 18 laps to go, and he's about 4 seconds behind Will Paisley. So unless a caution comes out, looks like Joshua Sexton going to have to be okay with the second place finish. Michael Swink, let's go take a look at him real quick. Where's he? He's in 12th right now. He made a pass on Brandon Wallace a little while ago. He's our second place driver in points. So in 12th right now. We'll see where that puts him into next week. But Will Paisley, 6th in points coming into tonight, doing what everybody was hoping to do. And obviously everybody who comes into the race plans on trying to win, but only one person is going to be able to do it, and Will Paisley right now in the spot to successfully win the first race here. And, well, he just does not need a caution. The only driver on track that maybe doesn't want a caution right now, maybe some drivers who are locked in, if they finish where they finish, are just hoping for no caution. But, yeah, he's set sail 3.5 seconds ahead of Joshua Sexton. Sexton's actually made up some time on him, but like I said, just not enough time without a caution to catch up to Will Paisley, try to win the race. Once again, if you came into the broadcast After I said it, the drivers in yellow up there on the ticker are our playoff drivers. And if they aren't, well, they're not in the playoffs, but they still have every right to be here. Look at our third place driver right now in the 05, Tyler Johnson, our biggest mover here tonight out of the entire field. He started this one in 21st, now in a situation where he can finish on the podium. So a great run from that driver there in the 05 Ford Mustang. Fords and Chevys really just crowd our top 10 other than Jason Warren, who's a Toyota. And, well, I'd like to take a look at Jeff Paisley, too. I mentioned earlier how he was basically living in the 8th position. Well, after green flag pit stops, caution or two, he's now sitting in 5th right now. So a top 5 spot for him. Jason Day in front of him in 4th. We've really seen Jason Day, Jeff Paisley, Shane Pittman, these guys around each other a lot here tonight. Garrett Kinder has now gone a lap down to Will Paisley. So, man, a tough run for him after. Oh, and a caution is out. Jeff Paisley, no. Caution is out for the 7 machine, as it looks like he probably hit the wall out of 4. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, that just looks like one of those things where I talked about it earlier. It looks like you can have a wider exit than you really can, and he just maybe got a little lackadaisical and just got too comfortable and hit the wall out of 4. And then lost it, and oh, no. Wow, there was a lot. That was a lot bigger of a wreck than I thought it would be. Oh. He's just trying to find his way back to pit road, and, well, we should see some pit stops here coming. Garrett Kinder will get the free pass. And we'll see if Will Paisley did take tires or not. The pit stop before the last. And it looks like he did, because he stays out. So, yeah, it looks like those drivers, they definitely did not want to caution, because it looks like they are out of tires, and they are just going to have to live with the bed that they've made. And, well, that's unfortunate, because I just don't think they're going to be able to, or at least Will Paisley's not going to be able to hold the lead on these older tires. You got Jason Warren, Clint Reist here. I'll read that line in a second. Jason Warren, Clint Reist, Shane Pittman, Tyler Johnson, Cameron Combs, Joe Buscemi, Charles Stevens Jr., Brandon Wallace, and Jeff Paisley obviously down pit road for that damage. But all the other drivers down there to get 4 fresh tires, and we're going to see what they can do. Jason Warren, it looks like, is the first out on fresher tires. He's going to restart this one in the 8th position. He's going to start on the outside of the 4th row on fresher tires than everyone ahead of him. One, does he have the time? Does he have the time to do it? And, well, can he just get through traffic fast enough to win this race? This is just how much of a game changer cautions can be. Will Paisley had this race locked up. Jason Warren was sitting in the 9th position on, well, the same tires, obviously, but now he sits in 8th with a lot fresher tires than everyone ahead of him. And Garrett Kinder, who got the free pass down pit road, he's going to restart, it looks like, in the, well, actually 14th position, or, yeah, 13th position, but he's going to have to restart behind all of the lap cars as the lucky dog gets their lap back, but they do have to restart at the end of the longest line, which will be behind not only the lead lap cars, but also the cars a lap down or more. But of course, this is how it has to happen when I broadcast. Looks like we're going green the rest of the way, and then boom, a caution. And we're going to have under 10 laps to go. It looks like we're going to have 7 to go when we go back racing. And I think the one thing Jason Warren wants is just green flag laps. He wants as much time as possible to get up there to win this race. And he's going to have to make up 7 spots. And he's going to have, like I said, 7 laps to do it if we stay green all the way. So, yeah, he's definitely going to need time to do that. So, no quick cautions for Jason Warren. That's definitely not what he wants. But Will Paisley, these guys up here on older tires, they wouldn't mind getting a quick caution. So, it's awesome when you create a situation where different drivers make different pit strategy calls. Well, if you get a caution late, then you see those different strategies kind of match up against each other, and that's what we're about to see here. As the lights are off in the pace car, and like I said, we're going to go back racing here at Texas Motor Speedway with 7 laps to go here in the MyX Lives in Texas 200. Great race thus far, and well, I expect nothing less than a fantastic finish from these drivers here. They always put on a good show, whether it's 133 straight laps or a shootout to the end. 32 of Jason Warren back there. In the 4th row in the outside lane, your freshest tires with Clint Reese behind him. He's going to be restarting 9th on that inside row. So that's another thing. I'm talking a lot about Jason Warren, but Clint Reese back there on fresher tires as well. Can he have a good enough jump on this restart to beat Jason Warren and himself go win this race? So, yeah, I was talking a lot about Jason Warren, but Clint Reese, Charles Stevens Jr., Joey Buscemi back there, all on fresher tires, all with the same opportunity, just obviously different starting positions. As we are getting ready to go back racing here. 7 laps to decide the race. Will Paisley, the control car, he will go whenever he chooses. And he's going to wait a while. The green flag is back out here at Texas Motor Speedway. He gets a really good jump. And we are back to racing as Jason Warren, keep an eye on him, get through the field. We'll see how quickly he's able to get through the field. As William Paisley, your leader as of now, and going to try to hold on for the next 7 laps. And he does have a pretty good buffer behind him. Even though he's on older tires than Jason Warren, Clint Reese, and such, he does have a pretty good buffer behind him, and they're all racing right now, and including Jason Warren and Clint Reese. If you have the drivers on the freshest tires racing each other, then you're set. And Jason Warren right now just in a box behind Tyler Johnson and Tanner Marr right now. He needs to go if he wants to try to catch our leader. They're 3 wide in front of him. Shane Pittman. I believe he's on fresher tires. I didn't even know that. Shane Pittman trying to go for the lead here. 3 wide behind him once again. And they're wrecking Joshua Sexton, the 051. He goes through the grass, but he keeps it straight. He's going to try his hardest to keep it straight, and he does, but that is going to hurt. As he's now outside the top 10, and they can't. Oh, and wrecking behind him. That's Jason. No, not Jason Warren. Shane Pittman. Caution is out. Shane Pittman was just near the lead, so let's find out what happened here. A lot happened here on this restart. And Tyler Johnson, the 05. Bumps the 1 and sends him around. Clint Reese, Cameron Combs, no. Their points leader coming into tonight. Big damage to that 15 car. And, well, absolutely nowhere for him to go. Jason Warren, some contact to the wall as well. So rough night for him. Has led the first 30 laps of the race. And just tough luck ever since. Clint Reese, he made it through it, though. So he's going to restart this one in the second spot on fresher tires. So Clint Reese, it's going to be a green-white checkered, but he is in an opportunity and a chance to win this race to start off the playoffs. But Will Paisley, you know, he's going to do his best to stop that from happening. Clint Reese behind Will Paisley in the points, so no surprise to see these two around each other. Yeah, unfortunately that wreck, and that's what can happen. A wreck between two non-playoff drivers, and that's going to cost some of our playoff drivers that we have here tonight. And that's just an unfortunate case of what can happen in playoff racing. For this green and white checkered, we'll give you one last look at your playoff bracket tonight. 4 unlucky drivers not going to make it next week to Homestead as a part of the playoffs, but nonetheless, they'll still be able to race next week, regardless if they are in or not. Then we'll cut down 2 more and make it around to 10 at Richmond. Well, that's going to be a great race, a great racetrack to watch, a lot of fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to broadcasting that. Then you got Charlotte for the round of 8, and that race will decide who races for a championship at Michigan International Speedway here in the Saturday Night Syndicate Cup Series. All season long, and it comes down to 5 races for 16 of our drivers. And I failed to mention, and I apologize, I kind of forgot about it, but we do have something else going on. So whoever can finish 17th in points at the end of the season, at Michigan, will get $25 in prize money. So it's the mid-pack championship, we can call it. And oh no, Jason Warren blows his motor. And, well, unfortunately, that's going to be the end of it for this race for that 32 machine. We're going to have a 2-lap shootout, so if we take a look at how far back, he's going to finish at least in 16th. Maybe even worse. Should secure a top 20, but that is not going to be able. That's not going to do for when you're 14 points behind coming into the night. But I mean, another driver, Cameron Combs, he's out of the race right now, actually, so he can't gain any spots. That's our points leader. So, wow, there's going to be a big shakeup in the points after tonight. Will Paisley, Clint Reese, coming into this race, were 17 points behind our race, our points leader. And right now, if the race ended now, he would finish 17th. So that would bring Will Paisley and Clint Reese right up to him in points. But I think, if I'm looking at it right, Michael Swink, who came in second, would not be able to. So I think if Cameron Combs finishes 17th, unless Will Paisley gets bonus points, I'm honestly, unfortunately, not too sure what they get bonus points for if they do in playoffs. But if there are no extra points given out to Will Paisley or Clint Reese, then maybe Cameron Combs can hold the lead in points, but I'm not sure. I think we're going to see a new points leader going into the round of 12. But will it be Will Paisley? Will it be Clint Reese? Clint Reese, though, going to be starting on that outside of the first row on fresher tires than Will Paisley. So you want to think that it's going to be Clint Reese just because of that tire advantage, but you never know what can happen. As we're getting ready for the first green white checkered of the night. Hopefully the last, but you never know. Will Paisley, Clint Reese, your front row. Tyler Johnson, Jason Day, your second row. Tanner Marr, Joey Buscemi in that third row in the 08 and the 8. As the pace car is off, Will Paisley, your race leader. The green flag is back out here at Texas Motor Speedway. Clint Reist falls into second. Behind him, Tyler Johnson, Jason Day. 2 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. Green-white checkered finish. Could Will Paisley hold off Clint Reist for 2 laps on those older tires, or can Clint Reist make it happen? Clint Reist, he's gonna have to make up a lot of ground in 1 lap though, so we're gonna see, can we get around and collect the white flag first? Will Paisley out of 4 for the last time. White flag is out. A big run from the 2 machine. Not going to be able to get to the back bumper of Will Paisley yet. There's the 05 with Tyler Johnson on his inside. Will Paisley slow in 1 and 2. Clint Reist to the lead on the outside. Through 1 and 2, down to the back stretch. Clint Reist, your new race leader. Will Paisley back to second through 3 and 4 for the last time. Will Paisley going to do everything he can to try to get back, but he cannot do it. Clint Reist going to win the first race of the playoffs here at Texas Motor Speedway, and he's going to win the MyX Lives in Texas 200. A great start to the playoffs and a great finish to this race. Driver out of Decatur, Alabama, Clint Reist, able to pull off the victory here in the first round of the playoffs. And that might just be the points lead for him going into the round of 12. We'll see. I'll try to get that info for you guys as quickly as possible. And who's in and who's out. Great stuff from Clint Reist to get the victory on the last lap to win the first race of the playoffs. And I'm still trying to figure out if he got the points lead. But it is not updating yet. Gonna wait a second to pull him in here just to see if it'll update before talk to him. All right, we're gonna pull him in here and talk to him, and we'll try to get the information to you guys if we can here tonight. But we got Clint Reist in here, our race winner. Clint, you got a copy? I saw you light up there, but I did not hear your mic. Here, let me. You got a copy, Clint? I'm not able to hear you right now. Here, how about, not sure why I can't hear you. Yeah, I still see you lighting up, but I cannot hear you for some reason. Well, I can't hear you. So, Clint, what I'll do real quick is I'll interview third and second, see if you can't get it figured out, and then try to talk to you last if we can get to hearing you. For some reason, I can't right now. But we'll get you back in here in a second, buddy. See if can't get that fixed. But sorry about that, folks. We'll talk to third place Tyler Johnson real quick. Hey, Tyler, this is Zach in the booth. You got a copy? Huh. I cannot hear anybody on Discord, apparently. Here, I'll move you back to the waiting room. Sorry for that. I got to figure this out real quick. I cannot hear anybody on Discord, and I got to figure this out. This is weird. Never had this issue before. Why can I not? I'm going to restart Discord real quick. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. This has never happened before where I could not hear anybody. Hey, Tyler, you got a copy? Wow, I cannot hear anybody on Discord right now. Huh. Yeah, I see you lighting up. Same thing happened with Clint, but I cannot hear you. I am going to, I guess, try log out of Discord real quick and see if I can't fix it. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna log out of Discord. I'm gonna let you guys look at the results real quick. Sorry about this. We're having issues. That just scared me. That shouldn't have. I should have that muted. Pull that up for you. I'm gonna log out of Discord, try to log back in, see if I can't hear these guys. This has never happened before to me, so it is new, and I'm not sure how to fix it. All right, get logged back in here. Y'all got a copy? Wow, I cannot hear anybody. This is frustrating. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. All right, I figured it out. Tyler, you got a copy? There we go. For some reason, I muted Discord before the race, and I didn't know it. Sorry about that, but thanks for the patience. You finished. Congrats on the third place finish here tonight, buddy. Take us through your race.
Yeah, I mean, the whole beginning of the race, I was just kind of saving tires, feeling it out. I didn't expect myself to be up front, honestly, until I held off and I got that lucky caution as I came in to get fresh tires and had an extra set on me at the end.
Yeah, take us through that last restart where you had old tires, new tires combined. What were you kind of expecting of that last one?
Well, I was kind of hoping to get a better restart so I could get the inside on Clint, so that whenever Will left, I could just slip in there and hopefully get in front of him. But my restarts just weren't good all night, and he got to the outside, got in front of me, and at that point I was just banking on Will possibly pushing up in that final turn and pushing Clint out of the way or something so I could slip under.
All right, man. Well, you got any sponsor shout-outs you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Butt Kicker, MF Racing Designs, Maconi Setup Shop, and thank my team, 5 King Motorsports. I feel like we had a great finish this race.
All right, man. Well, great race tonight. Maybe look forward to talking to you next week.
Oh, yeah, and I want to thank my mom and dad, too, as well. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yep, have a good night. All right. Now we're going to move on to our second place finisher. I'm glad I figured it out. For some reason, I muted Discord before the race. I have no clue why I did, but I did. And, well, that was my issue. Thankfully, I figured it out. Oh, man, that scared me. All right. Hey, Will, this is Zach in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I know that you'd have rather finished a spot ahead where you did, but still a great race from you. Man, I guess take us through your mindset when that last caution came out. I imagine you couldn't have been too happy. Or, well, the caution before the last one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was worst case scenario for me, really. I think I might have been able to hold off my teammate there. But I mean, when the caution came out, there was nothing that we could do. I didn't have any tires left, so I was just kind of screwed. So I was just having to block the best I could and hope that we get a caution. But unfortunately, Clint was able to put on that absolutely fantastic move, if I do say so, in that what is it, turn one, and that was kind of all she wrote there.
Yeah, we saw you get maybe a little tight into one. Was that just a product of the older tires?
Oh yeah, the setup was a bit wrong tonight. It looked like they put on the old Texas one, and I practiced with the 2021. So we ended up getting the tighter setup over the two. So I just kept trying to take two tires when I'd pit, and it actually was helping the car. But by that point, I mean, my tires were gone. And in comparison to somebody with just new tires, there's nothing that I could have done. I was about 2 seconds slower a lap if it was going to stay green.
All right, man. Well, great race tonight. You got any shout-out sponsors?
Yes, I do. I actually have a list of them here. So thanks to Five Kings once again for bringing me and my dad on. I know it's not showing it for the team at the moment. I still have to download the thing to show it on this computer. Then thanks to Butt Kicker, Maconi Setup Shop, myself for the Mr. Willie P Designs. I do the paint schemes, and Raise Energy. So go to repsports.com and use code Arcadian4 at checkout for 15% off. And yeah, thanks to my dad, I guess, for bringing me into the league. It's been fun so far. And I think with that, I'll probably be moving on to the next round. And hopefully it continues to go well.
Oh, yeah, you are. Absolutely. We'll be moving on to the next round. So good luck next week at Homestead. Looking forward to seeing what you can't do next week.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll go well. I've never been particularly amazing at Homestead, but with it having the high line being dominant now, it might be interesting.
All right, great race tonight, man. Looking forward to seeing you out there next week.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right. And finally, thank you for your patience, Clint, our race winner. And I'm actually going to take a quick look before we pull him in here to re-look at the points. Hopefully it's updated by now. And yeah, Clint Reese to the lead in the points. Hey, Clint, I finally figured it out. This is Zach in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Good to hear your voice, man. Great win tonight. First of all, just took a look and talked about it. You take the points lead after this week going into the round of 12. So I guess, first of all, coming into this race, I believe you were tied for 6th with Will. Did you think you could possibly have an outcome where you could take the lead in points?
I didn't realize that was going to happen, but just here to have fun, man.
Yeah, well, take us through that last restart. Obviously, only 2 laps, even though you have fresher tires. So it looked like maybe that first lap, when you were getting up to speed, you weren't able to really get close to him. But take us through that second lap where those tires really started to show.
Yeah, I knew going into 1 and 2, he wasn't going to be able to hold it, so he had to check up big time, and I was able to just whiz by on the outside. But I like to go back to the caution before where I took it 3 wide and apologized to Josh Oswald for I didn't realize how much room I had on the outside, and I kind of held it down, and me and him got together, and he got the worst end of the deal. But Josh, I'm sorry I didn't leave you enough room down there, and sorry about that, bud.
Hey, man, well, you pull off win number 2 of the season, and like I said, you take a lead into the points into the round of 12. What are you expecting from Homestead?
Gonna win.
Hey, that's a good lookout for what you want to do. So, hey, great win tonight. You got any shout-out sponsors you want to shout out there?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Matt and them for having the league and JBR Motorsports. A lot of support with those guys and getting these good laps down.
All right, man. Well, once again, congrats tonight. Looking forward to seeing you out there next week.
See you, man.
All right, and with that, we'll go ahead and take a look at. I'll go take a look at the points and see who is out. So Jeff Paisley just makes it in. He finishes 12th in the points. He finished, I think maybe he was, oh, I remember. Sorry, I blanked out there. Jeff Paisley was the one who brought out that caution. But even with that wreck, he's going to make it to the round of 12 in 12th, 1 point behind Christopher Heiner. And he'll start that race 2 points behind William Griffith in 10th, which that'll be the next cutoff spot. So Clint Reist, William Paisley, that's your results right there, but I'll take that off the screen so you don't think that's the playoffs. But Clint Reist, William Paisley, Cameron Combs, your top 3 going into Homestead Miami Speedway. Garrett Kinder, 4th. Michael Swink, 5th. Joe Buscemi, great run from him. We highlighted him, and he is 6th in points now. Your spotlight driver here tonight, Brandon Wallace, is in 7th in points going into next week. Jason Warren, 8th. Chuck Phelps, 9th. William Griffith, like I said, in 10th in points. Christopher Heiner, 11th. And Jeff Paisley rounds out your top 12. And the 12 drivers that will move on next week into the round of 12 for the playoffs here. Like I said, we head to the to Homestead Miami Speedway. You'll see by our next broadcast next week, you'll see that Homestead filled up with the drivers that made it. And, well, I'm really looking forward to it. Tonight was a great race. I think we had overall 3 or 4. I think we had total 4 cautions. So not a bad race at all for 133-lap event here around this 1.5 mile. Texas Motor Speedway put on a great show. And, again, I'm looking forward to that Homestead Miami Speedway. And, well, you'll actually have me and my father in the booth together once again for that race. So thank you for tuning in tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got 4 more races left in this season remaining in the playoffs and a lot of fun tracks to go. So hope you tune in next week in the remaining 3 afterwards. But for tonight, it's been Zach Wettstein here from Rebels Racing Network. Have a good night.